Hi guys, so I'm sitting in my car, just got home from the store and church, and I have my coffee with me. I am turning 22 soon, and I saw this girl do this video on her channel, and it was 21 things that I've learned so far in my life, and so I thought it was very interesting. I'm gonna link her channel down below if you guys want to check her out, but I'm going to be doing the same video because I wanted to just share some of the things that I've learned over the course of my many years of life. Alright, so number one, growth is not linear. I think during my little journey of life, I just thought that my life would be high, like all the time, and I always lived for that feeling of high, and I feel like a lot of us do, if that makes sense. But I just thought that, oh my gosh, these good moments are coming, and then when the good moments were over and my life would kind of slow down, let's say my business was growing so rapidly fast, or I was just thriving and doing so well within a particular season, I was just so joyful, and I didn't really necessarily feel the same way when that was not happening in my life. And so there's always going to be seasons of ups and downs, but what you do with it and how you handle it, it shows the kind of person that you are, if that makes sense. Second thing is, sometimes you just have to do it.
Do it! Just do it!
I have such a huge problem with overthinking. I overthink everything, and it's such a waste of time. If you have something on your mind and you have a passion and a dream and a drive for it, just do it. When I particularly do that, I just find so much satisfaction because I did the thing that I was overthinking, or the overthinking stopped me from doing that certain thing. And so once you get it done, it's just like, okay, like moving on to the next thing. Nothing else that's like on your plate to worry about. So just do it. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Number three, God gives you what you need, not what you want. I had a hard time wrestling with this growing up because I didn't necessarily understand why certain things were happening to me in a certain season. And especially when looking at other people's lives and other people's seasons, I would always question God, why is that happening to me? Why is it that's not happening to Susie? I don't get it. I just don't understand. The sentence or the quote, everything happens for a reason, that just takes so much depth, because I would not be the person that I am without those experiences. And even though I did not understand in the time, God gave me what I needed and not what I wanted, because He knows so much better than to give me what I want, because He knows that I needed that to learn what He was trying to show me. I just think that's like so incredible, even though that's definitely really hard to process in the moment. Number four, God's timing over mine. Everything comes down to timing, and I know that we can make plans in the moment, and it's so fun to make plans, and especially as a type A person, I make plans. But whenever plans don't fall through, or whenever things just don't line up how you want them to, because life is really unexpected, it's really disappointing. And at that point, I just really don't know what to do except for trusting God's timing. And everything that I have let go and trusted in God's timing for has turned out perfectly, because I realize that sometimes I think I know what's best for me when I clearly don't, because I don't see the big picture. And so overall, even though there are parts of my life or areas of my life where I thought I'd be further along, I know that in the end, it's all going to work out, and that's the beautiful thing of it. I'm finally getting to an age where my brain is just like, okay, like if things don't work out, then it's just not the right timing, and that's okay. So moving on, you gotta try it later. Number five, everything that you go through really preps you for the next season of your life. This really goes with what I really mentioned before. Every single step or every single stage of your life really prepares you for the next. So don't waste your time wishing away the season when you could look for the positive things. And I know it's so hard to look for the positive things when you just want to get out of the season, but I promise you, you will always wish you were in a different season when you're in the particular season that you're in. So don't waste that time wishing it away when you could be using it for something more valuable. Number six, it's okay to spend time alone. This one is a hard one for me because I am an extroverted person. I do like my alone time, but it's also really hard, I think, in today's society when we have this pressure to always be with someone, always be social. And I think it's really hard, especially as someone who does social media, and I see my friends in a different state hang out, and I'm like, man, I wish I was there. I wish I was included in that. It's just not always that way. And I think that being alone teaches you to be independent. And I've grown that independency because I've been alone and I've been doing things like taking myself on Starbucks dates or going to Target trips like alone. I don't need to depend on someone to find my joy, except for the Lord, obviously. I just think it's so great to be in a season of singleness, even though it's really hard when you see others around you in their dating season or with a boyfriend. Like, don't get me wrong, one of my biggest goals in life is to get married, have a boyfriend, experience all of that romance, but I mean, it's just not my time yet. And yes, I do get disappointed, but it's okay to be alone. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, or it's not uncool to be alone. So don't you ever forget that. Number 7, taking breaks is not counterproductive. I have such a hard time with taking breaks because I think I'm just the overly anxious, overly working person. And whenever I take a break, the first thought that goes in my mind is, you should be doing something productive, you're falling behind, taking breaks is bad. I have realized that if I don't take a break, I'm just leading myself to burnout. And the course of working is for a lifetime. You don't work just like fully for one day and then you're done working forever. You work continuously every single day for the rest of your life. So you have to take breaks and take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're not able to work or do the marathon. It's not a sprint, it's an entire marathon. So take care of yourself, take breaks, enjoy life. Don't just drown yourself in work. Number 8, it's okay to have awkward moments. As a perfectionist, I find this so hard because whenever I make a mistake, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm done for. And I make it so awkward when it doesn't have to be awkward. I've noticed that the way that you carry yourself really changes people's perspective on you. If you don't want to make it an awkward moment, laugh it off, and people will laugh it off with you. If you make it awkward, obviously people are gonna feel awkward, so it'll seem even more awkward when you overthink it. That's what I've been working on lately. It's just fun when everything's more lighthearted and you just go out there, try. If you make a mistake, oh well, like, try again, move on. Number 9, saying no is not bad. I feel so bad when I say no because I just feel like I'm letting people down. In reality, if you're gonna say yes to everything, sometimes maybe that's just not good for you and you're stretching yourself further apart. I am a big proponent of only taking the things that you think will benefit you. And what I mean by that is not stretching yourself too thin, because I've done that before and I was miserable for no reason. Like I could have clearly just balanced my life so much better. Number 10, people come and go, and that's really okay. I have such a hard time with this because I have ran into people over many years of my life, and it's so disappointing to me when I think I'm a friendly person, but maybe they just don't want to be my friend, and yet they want to be friends with, I don't know, other people. And when you get left out and rejected, you always wonder, like, what is wrong with me? But in reality, I just don't think there's anything wrong with me. If people don't want to hang out with you, they just don't want to hang out with you. You need to move on, find those people that do want to hang out with you, find the people that want to encourage you, and find the people that push you to be better. Because at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and say, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time chasing these people who didn't care, when you could have tried to surround yourself with other people that would lift you. Number 11, career is important, but so is living. I think it's so important to have fun in your daily life. Let's say you're in college. I think a lot of my college life was just work, work, work. And I mean, I did have fun, but I will say if I could go back and do it, I would definitely do more social things, because once that season of your life is over, you can't take it back. So yes, work hard, get the grades, but don't forget to live in the moment and enjoy yourself. You're only gonna be, I don't know, whatever age you are for the year that you are, and you don't wanna look back and say, oh my gosh, I worried or I stressed so much about that moment that I just forgot to live. At the end of the day, life is short. Just don't take it so seriously. Number 12, guys suck, but the right one won't leave you confused. Oh my gosh, this ties into like the dating thing. I feel like this whole entire experience of mine with guys has been so confusing. I am the type of person that has high standards when it comes to finding a guy. I'm not picky, but I will say it's really hard, I think, to find a guy that matches my morals nowadays. I have realized that if a guy wants to be with you, he will make the initiative, because if you're the one who's having to like always put out the initiative, then most likely he probably doesn't like you enough, and maybe you need to move on. It sucks to hear, but I think that realizing my own worth and just realizing that I'm the one that's supposed to be pursued. A guy will pursue you if he wants to pursue you. At the end of the day, if he's putting in that effort to talk to you, to take actions and not just say words, I mean, then you'll know that he's the one. But I personally do not like it when guys confuse you or lead you on for no specific reason. And so, yeah, I just think it's that simple and it's that clear. A guy that wants to be with you won't confuse you or you know, throw things at you. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Number 13, you're allowed to change and grow. I used to go to a very small Christian school and I just felt so trapped in the bubble. Once I got into college and now I'm like in the real world because I'm a post-grad student, it's just so crazy to me the amount of growth that change brings, because you get this opportunity to go out and just see a different life, a different culture from like what you were just surrounded in. I feel like that's a great thing as a personal development type of skill, because I am so proud of how far I've come and how far God has taken me. But I know that some people probably look at my life or what I'm doing and they're probably like, what is she doing? She's so different now. But at the end of the day, if you think you're making the steps to better yourself and you're following and chasing God, that's all that matters. Don't worry about anybody else's opinion. Life is too short for that. Do what you think is best for you, obviously, within reason. Number 14, you can't grow if you don't have failure. Again, it's really hard to not be disappointed by failure because I'm a perfectionist and I get so disappointed so easily. But failure really has a lot of lessons to teach if you really take it the right way. Don't let failure disappoint you. Let failure teach you a lesson. Number 15, take people's advice, but at the end of the day, listen to you. I get so swayed so easily as a person, sometimes even like a content creator. It's so easy to listen to other people's experiences and then have them tell you what's right and what's wrong. But in reality, there's no right or wrong way to get to success or the journey that you're on. And so a lot of times I think I'll listen to these people's stories and I think, okay, like I have to hop on that train to get where I want to be. But in reality, it's my own journey, and whatever I feel like is best, I should do for myself. Instead of trying to copy someone else's journey or be like them, listen to their opinion and their advice, obviously, but at the end of the day, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's just that simple. Don't let other people's opinions or what they think hold you back, because you know you at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, if you're pleasing God and you're following Him and you just stay true to yourself, you will end up where you are supposed to be. Number 16, what you listen to / feed yourself really determines your personality and mindset. Let's say you're feeding yourself or you're watching movies that involve romance. I definitely am happy alone, but I told you guys before, I want a boyfriend. I want to get married. You know, that's just one of the desires in my life. And I think it's particularly hard in a season where I don't have that, and yet I'm constantly feeding myself with that stuff. So the other day, I was watching this really sappy movie where the girl and the guy just met each other at school and they fell in love. And obviously because I lacked that and I was feeding myself with that, I fell into this hole where I was even more sad because I was feeding myself with stuff that I didn't have, and then it made me remind myself of what I didn't have versus thinking about the positive stuff that comes out of a season of singleness. Same thing with your mindset. If you're gonna constantly be focusing on the things that you don't have, you're gonna be in a negative space. And I have been there before, and it sucks to be in a negative space because you can't do anything except for think about all the things that you don't have. Versus, let's say you're in a bad mindset. Listening to happy, upbeat music, listening to Christian music can really switch your mood around. Don't listen to the, I don't know, FU music or whatever there is out there. I know those songs are like not terrible in the sense that like I do listen to secular music here and there, but at the end of the day, what you're feeding yourself really, really matters, and how you speak to yourself really, really matters as well. Number 17, it's better to have no friends than toxic friends. I grew up so desperate for friends, and now I just don't care. The fact that like I tried to chase a certain friend group in high school and even at the beginning of my college career is just so crazy to me, because I'm just a completely different person now. If they don't want to hang out with you, don't chase them. If they're impacting you in a negative way, I promise you it's so much better to drop them than to continue and hang out with them and have this feeling of desperation. The right people will come into your life at the right time. And I think prayer is such a big part of that as well. Ask God to give you friends, good friends, that will encourage you, that will push you, motivate you. Don't spend your time with the people that will drag you down just because you're afraid you'll have no one, because I promise you it's not worth it. I've been there. It sucks to be the person in the middle who's like hanging out with a bunch of other friends who don't really match your morals, and at the end of the day I was not happy. So why was I hanging out with those people, you know? Number 18, stop waiting for the weekends to have fun. I used to live for the weekends because Monday through Friday I was doing school. I was just like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I'm going to be like free over the weekend. It's gonna be lit. I can't have fun during the weekdays. But in reality, why can't you have fun while you're at work, you know? Do those little things throughout your day that really spark your motivation for life. Like today, I got coffee. I went to church. You know, I did things that made me happy. I'm vlogging right now. I'm talking to you guys. It makes me so happy that I have a community that I can just talk to, and you guys are so sweet and so nice. But don't wait until a certain point in your life to start having fun, to start living, to be happy, because you're never gonna be fully happy if you wait for that certain moment. I think that finding joy in the daily things in life really changes your perspective in general. Number 19, social media is a highlight reel. As someone who does social media, I will tell you that is so true. There are so many areas of my life that I do not share publicly because it's just better for me to deal with those areas of my life privately. But I will tell you, everybody on social media, everyone in this world struggles with something. Obviously, people are not going to post that. I don't post that because for me, social media is a place to post my fun, happy moments so that I can look back on them. Don't look at social media and look at people's highlight reels and compare your life to them thinking, oh my gosh, their life is perfect, like I just have no chance against them. You should not be comparing yourself to social media. I think that is the most toxic things about social media. I think it's so easy for us, especially me, to get trapped into the circle of, I wish I had their life looks so fun. People only share what they want to share. So, you know, don't trap yourself in that circle. It's so unhealthy, and I've been there and I get it. Number 20, what others say about you says more about them than it says about you. I never really understood this quote, I think, until recently, because with doing social media, I get a lot of hate, especially on YouTube and what I'm focused in, which is YouTube Shorts. I had a short blow up once, and at the time, my face was breaking out so bad. Halloween short was, what should I be for Halloween? I had a couple comments where people said, Jenna, you should be a pizza because you already have the toppings on your face for it. I read that and I was like, dude, what is wrong with these people? But at the end of the day, first of all, I know that it's so hard to not take things personally, but I did. I took those comments personally because they were directed towards me about something that I was so insecure about. But first of all, if someone is taking time out of their day to say something negative about you, this is a lot more about them than it says about you, because I think that people say negative things about other people because they just don't have their life together. I know that whenever feelings of jealousy stem from my own personal thoughts, it's because I'm thinking about how my life lacks in a specific area when I look at other people's lives. I think that's something that, you know, everybody has to work on. I think everybody gets jealous at some point in their life, but don't take it personally. It says a lot about them more than it says about you, because if you're the one putting out the effort to do whatever you want to do and people are making fun of you for it, it's not gonna last forever. And I promise you that if you keep pursuing those passions or whatever it is that you want to pursue, you're going to get where you want to get. And those same people will come back to you looking at you and being like, wow, I'm so sorry that I made fun of her in the moment. And lastly, number 21, you can't change your circumstances, but you can change how you react to them. This is such a work in progress for me because I still do get in seasons of my life where I get really upset about my circumstances, and then when my circumstances aren't good, my mental health isn't the greatest either. But I am trying to work on not letting my circumstances dictate me, because I think you can be joyful in any season, high or low, when you look for the right things. And I think like that's the main thing about life. Whatever you focus on is going to be your mindset. But I really want to work on being more positive this year. I tend to get into slumps where I forget the tiny things in my life are things that I need to focus on, I prioritize when I'm looking at the big picture, or I get swallowed into this trap of comparing my lane to someone else's lane. At the end of the day, if I'm looking at someone else's lawn and I'm not watering my own plants, my plants are gonna be dead. So I need to focus on watering my own grass before I go over there and check on my neighbor's grass. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot of chatter, but I wanted to share some of the things that I learned over the past couple of years. And I'm almost at 22. Some things will stay the same, just like me getting Starbucks. But I love you guys, and thank you for being here, following along my journey on YouTube, following along my life. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.